It promises much, it really does. And just a word at the start for 86-year-old Barbarian president Mickey Steele-Bodger, who suffered a heart attack at the team hotel this week. Mickey is out of hospital, doing well, and looks forward to meeting up with the players after the game. And of course, the players, Mickey, send their best wishes, as we do too. It's Australia who start this match, and it's Australia the missing link for the Barbarians to make it a triple against the Tri-Nations over the last 3 years. We'll get here. And again, the scrum half.
Push back, black.
And as ever in these games, it will be fascinating to see how the Barbarians settle into the set piece, line out scrum, but also any moves that they might have worked on this week. And there, they were just a little bit too keen early on and breaking the offside line, spotted by the referee, and immediately Australia to the boos in the shape of James O'Connor, point at the post. But Australia are here to play 100% like a test match.
Yeah, Kevin Mealamu was the guy there who gave the penalty away. The Barbarians, trying to make sure that Australia don't get their game going around the fringes, because that's what makes Wilgenia so dangerous. Mealamu comes in very quickly, tries to get the Wallabies on the back foot, but he's too quick up, and that's the problem when you're a scratch team. You've only had a couple of sessions together. You know, when you're an international team, when you're a club team, a provincial team, exactly what the man either side is doing. Mealamu is fast up, slightly offside chance for O'Connor.
He was an 18-year-old, in effect burst onto the international scene in that game at Wembley 3 years ago. Now then, of course, 21 and up to 199 international points. These won't count today as part of that total. It's not a capped international. But he will want to give Australia the best possible start, and young O'Connor, a Melbourne rebel himself, of course, these days, so there's an interesting subplot. Cipriani against O'Connor at 10 on a provincial level, as well as the pure battle today. And O'Connor successful with his first kick. Australia off to a very sure-footed start.
Well, towards the end of Super Rugby season, O'Connor was saying how much he was looking forward to playing outside Cipriani for the Melbourne franchise next season. They're both 10 today. It is fascinating, and Rob Simmons takes that ball, the pup, in this second row battle.
Man who's played at every level for Australia, Rob Simmons, and getting the chance because James Horwell, the normal captain, is on the bench today, along with some other experience in the shape of Moore and Alexander and Samo as well. That's dropped by Ioane. Of course, one of the major threats for Australia in this game, and the knock-on, and we'll get a scrum down.
Fizzed that past James O'Connor, really outstripped the Barbarians' defence. Here's Simmons. It's going to feel extremely young today. Matt Field and Shaw against him, Nathan Sharp with his team. Really good pass there, but Ioane just takes his eye off the ball there. Now Peter Stringer, Munster man, he spent most of his career with Danny Cipriani. Right now, interestingly enough, Tompkins, the league recruit, is playing in fly half.
They're standing at first receiver. We saw that in the warm-up.
Yep.
And against the Australian scrum, the first decision, of course, Australia, known to have had their problems in this area and on this ground. It's going back a while, though, now. Seem to have sorted out those issues, and certainly in Slipper, who's an emerging prop, much more a loose head than a tight, and Ma'afu, who's definitely first and foremost a scrummager, rather than offering too much around the pot. They've got two proper props there, they feel, but giving away this penalty and giving away this position for the Barbarians to try and exploit. Stringer goes in. Well, Cipriani was never going to get on the end of that. Here's Habana. Famous hat-trick here against New Zealand, part of that victory. Out to Bergamasco, Matfield. And behind Tompkins, who was looking for his first run in Union, in his first ever game in this code, whatever level.
Hell of a challenge for him. Interesting what the Barbarians are doing. You can see they've got Tompkins in first receiver there. He's on the right-hand side. He's going to attack Australia. Then Cipriani a bit wider, but that brings Cipriani's passing game into it. Gives an option of hitting tight to the fringes or going very wide with Cipriani.
As you're talking there, Stuart, you can see him just walking back there. Tompkins, he was sent there by Cipriani to cover the potential kick here from Australia. He's got himself very close to the scrum. His positioning will all be so foreign to him. He's going to need help and guidance from his colleagues. Well, the kick never comes. It's the run from Ioane. There's Genia right back to the other kicking option, Berwick Barnes, and now Tompkins is brought into play and he makes a good catch and finds Toyava. He slips and he's taken by Nathan Sharp, who played his 100th test in that bronze medal game against Wales at the World Cup. Cipriani has a run. Finds Fruin, who played so well here for the Crusaders earlier in the year. He's a big unit, is Fruin. Simon Shaw, 38-year-old Simon Shaw, had a long way to go down there, and it's a knock-on.
Good and bad from New Zealand there. Great power from Robbie Fruin, the centre with a huge future in front of him. But Toyava, the All Black, throws a horrible pass afterwards. Whoa, look at that. David Dennis just smashed backwards. Pretty good tackle from Simmons. Steps inside. Lovely angle there. Dennis comes across and he's just on the right side there. Superb power. Awful pass from Toyava afterwards, though.
There is Dennis at the base of the scrum, called in for the unwell McCalman. Decision made at the captain's run yesterday. Genia, too sharp. O'Connor into midfield and finding Adam Ashley-Cooper coming up from full-back. Position where he moved to in that bronze medal game. Rob Horne back into action now after his injuries at the World Cup. He did finish the competition. Then it was Slipper. And there's Genia, too sharp. And this is looking encouraging from an Australian point of view. Ioane gone right across to join the attack. Pocock forms the bridge. Genia again. Higginbotham's there. And almost up to that 22. Ginazu, the Argentinian prop, trying to work away there for the Barbarians, and the referee siding with the Barbarians at the breakdown to give the penalty, and with the Barbars, it's the quick tap, and Tompkins takes it. Looks to go round his man, Ioane, one of the best in the world, of course, that he's up against. In Union, Tompkins, one of the best in the world in league. And a loser against Australia a week ago in the Four Nations at Ellen Road in Leeds, and the flag has now gone up.
Really tough for this man, Tompkins. Little scuffle there. You've got to remember, of all these guys, he doesn't know a single player, didn't know the coaches, didn't know the rules. Hour and a bit ago, I was talking to Steve Hansen. He said, I was just trying to tell him what a ruck was, and just how to place a ball. I mean, he is in a whole new world of sport.
Stringer with the tap. And Sterling Mortlock against his fellow countryman. Good tackle there from Simmons as he comes through on Stringer. Hindered the pass. Adam Thompson did well, the Barbarians' number 8. Now it's Cipriani. Tompkins, the ball's following him early on. Won't necessarily mind that. Certainly feeling part of it. Mortlock looks for another go and finds Fruin, who's going in for a bit more bash. Good work through the middle by Matfield. That drifted forward, and the referee's seen it. Plays advantage. Then it was Dennis. Genia. Lockie Turner gets a run. He's very quick. He's a big man, but he's also a real speedster. But he couldn't find the right pass. He had all kinds of options. Now here's another very quick man, but the whistle has gone. The ball was knocked forward by the Barbarians, and Habana knew he was gone. had the whistle not been blown. Lockie Turner will be frustrated.
Well, this is terrible because Lockie Turner has a support man there, and if you look at the Barbarians, one man there, this has to be a try. When the Crusaders came here playing Super Rugby, that was under the post. That's pretty poor effort from Australia there. Good initial break, but he didn't check off. The support lines weren't quite right. Australia at their best should be converting those. That was a really big chance.
Did score at Wembley when he came on for Ryan Cross in 2008. Turner should really have enabled somebody else to score there. Going to get another chance here though, Australia. And tackle from Adam Thompson on Will Genia. No scrum half, so somebody else is going to have to perform that role here. It'll be big Nathan Sharp, a little pass off to Arfu.
No hands! No hands, wide!
In goes Habana, but to no effect really. Higginbotham, again, just waiting to get this right. It's a little bit, I was going to say one-paced, it's slower than that at the moment. There's Pocock, injection of power from him. Genia picks up, and James O'Connor away from Bergamasco and goes on. That's a good pass. Now Turner again. Tackled by Toyava. In goes Genia. O'Connor, good hands here from the halfbacks. They whip that away quickly from the breakdown.
That was good work from Tompkins there. He's in very quickly on Ioane.
Side entry, 7.
And it's a penalty against Mauro Bergamasco.
Side
He's
entry,
currently
7.
unattached when it comes to his club status, part of the Stade Francais clear-out.
Well, that's the best we've seen from Australia so far. There was a little look one way and show from Berwick Barnes, and then we saw James O'Connor, such a dangerous runner, and then the fast hands of Genia. Really good feet, O'Connor, and he's strong. Just watch how quick Genia gets this ball away. Whips it away, and this is a really good decision there from Tompkins. There's 2 men outside. The league man does really well there.
Here's Tatafu Polotonau to throw in. Cheer, of course, for the Australian decision to go for the line out. A bit of a jeer for the Barbarians losing control. These things will happen early on, but they're very good players. They start to find a bit of rhythm within the match.
You can see what Bergamasco was trying to do here. There's a little bit of space there wide, you know, for Fruin and company, but Bergamasco, alas, wasn't the man to throw that missed ball.
We've seen it with the Barbarians in recent times when they've gone on to win games, but start a little bit shakily, and it's understandable.
Bergamasco, of course, when he played scrum half for Italy here, had a nightmare. Don't pass.
Here's O'Connor, and there's the interception for Fruin now. Has he got the pace to go all the way? The answer's probably no. He's checked, he's looking for Tompkins, and he can't find him. Toyava off the floor, Mortlock, referee playing advantage. Well, now it's the Barbarians' turn to butcher an opportunity. They're going to get a penalty, but it really should have been so much more than that.
This has to be a yellow card. If this is a deliberate knockdown from Ashley Cooper, it stops a try. Therefore, it has to be yellow. If it's a penalty, it's yellow.
It's a deliberate knockdown.
It is a penalty, and it is yellow.
Well done, Roman Poit. I think Ashley Cooper will take that, though.
Well, Ashley Cooper goes, having deliberately knocked the ball on, which brought the move to an end. But for a moment, the Barbarians themselves were bringing the move to an end. It really shouldn't have got to that, should it?
No, I don't think so. It's pretty good defending by Adam Ashley Cooper, because what he did do, he made Robbie Fruin make the decision, and that's about inexperience. And this is about inexperience too from James O'Connor. You can see that call is on. Robbie Fruin picks it out. Now Tompkins picks his line really quickly. Oh, he's butchered that. It should have gone earlier, though there are men getting back, but that's still very good defending. You go back there, Adam Ashley Cooper was eyeing up Robbie Fruin all along, forcing him to make a decision. That's all he could do, and he forced the wrong decision out of him.
And the decision from the Barbarians this time is to go for the 3 points, and Cipriani a chance to cancel out the O'Connor penalty goal, which he should, and he does. It's quite windy outside the stadium, of course, the protection from the stands here, but it will swirl a bit when that ball gets very aerial. Now, Adam Ashley Cooper, as you say, Stuart,
he's done a great job, and there is cover getting back.
But it still was a deliberate knock-on. So Australia down to 14 men, the score level at 3 apiece. Tompkins takes it.
Stay wide!
And finds Cipriani again.
Now the 14 Australians have got to do their bit for their fullback. He saved them 4 points. Now the experienced Test match team have got to steady the next 10 minutes and hold on. Let him get back on with no more harm.
Manu scored an 8-minute hat-trick at the World Cup. Adam Ashley Cooper against the United States. Well, he's got about 8 more minutes on the sideline here.
He scored some big tries at Twickenham as well, Miles, hasn't he?
He's always enjoyed playing here. Pocock offloads and offloads really well to find Rob Horne. He fractured his face in the game against the United States and stayed on bravely, didn't he?
No hands!
That all behind him now.
It's a lovely offload for Pocock.
Easy.
The world's best snaffler at the breakdown, but that was great skill on the front foot.
There's Pelota now.
Stay back. Stay! 13, push!
Marcanet trying to come through, the Biarritz man. Moves straight after the game to return to play for his club side. And here is Berwick Barnes. Good work by Matfield. He's going to give absolutely everything, what he always does, of course, but especially so in his final game. And we hear that's now 5 tackles for Matfield. And we've only played just over 16 minutes. We're still waiting for the first try. Higginbotham takes it on for the Wallabies. Genia. O'Connor against Mortlock. 80 caps for Sterling Mortlock in the colours of Australia. There's the man who's captain of the side now today, David Pocock, going forward.
Ball is very slow for the Wallabies at the moment. They need to accelerate that.
Yes, we've gone static again.
One out!
Genia. O'Connor with a little chip. Toyava's going across. Watching closely and watching well, the fullback.
By and large, Australia not asking the questions of a brand new Barbarians defence. They should be, and that's because they're not really getting quick ball. They're quite settled with slow ball. Genia is his best when he's on his front foot, when he's on his toes, when he's just moving that ball away quickly. And because he's not, the Barbarians' defence around the fringes is more comfortable than it should be.
Ioane coming forward from Cipriani's restart, and Matfield again chasing well. Make that 6 tackles. Genia tries this side, but as so often with Will Genia, he loves that short side and county on the Matfield front.
8!
Adam Thompson's getting through a fair amount of work as well. As Barnes goes wide, finds Turner, looks to try and hand off Habana, but Habana is always going to keep up with him. He came down to the physical side of things, and Habana was up to that as well. And he's looking for the quick one here. Cipriani was on his wavelength, but the referee has, with a little peep on the whistle, pulled play back for the line out. I think it must have just touched somebody else, the ball, after it had gone out.
These referees with their attention to detail, hey?
Stay where you are. It's fine now.
Kevin Mealamu, he's been in charge of organising the scrums this week. Matford, of course, the line out. Throws, finds Thompson. Then it's Stringer, Cipriani, out to Mortlock. Through in, extra man here. Through in, sees the space, lobs it inside. And it's a rather poor pass in the end, Barnes, for Australia. with Higginbotham and Pallotta now, and Higginbotham trying to get away from Ginazu. Simon Shaw's there as well. He's starting to open up a little bit the game here. Pocock, oh, he's put on the floor there by Sterling Mortlock. Australian on Australian. He meant that, didn't he?
Sterlo maybe thinks he got put out to pasture by Robbie Deans a little bit early. Pocock is a very solid man, but watch this. Mortlock. Wow. Barbarians want this. Said Mortlock didn't seem to be singing the anthem. I don't think he thinks he's an Australian today. Great stuff. Not so good from his partner, Robbie Fruin, who I'm afraid now has rather butchered 2 opportunities. And that's why in New Zealand a lot of people thought he'd be in the World Cup squad, but you can just see what a massive natural talent he is. But his distribution and his decision-making, when to give and when not to, not good enough. I mean, the passing is very good. He arcs into space, and that's a hopeless pass. And then Berwick Barnes throws an absolute beauty, bang. But he's arced his way into space. It's difficult, but, you know, that is a speculative pass to no one.
As we were saying, he plays so well for the Crusaders here earlier in the year. Of course, Steve Hansen, part of the coaching team, and hotly tipped to be the next man in charge of New Zealand. We'll take a good close look at Fruin in international company today, and Robbie Fruin will want to improve his performance from here on in. We've got 3 minutes left on the sin bin, and here's Digby Ioane. He's got an offer at the moment to go to Japan. I think everybody in Australia will be hoping that that is ignored, that kind of financial incentive. Here's O'Connor going for the drop goal, and it got over the bar to show that he's got the full range. Wasn't necessarily the best struck drop goal in his career, but it gets 3 points.
Twickenham has not seen many uglier drop goals than that. I think I may have one contender, but it doesn't matter. It's just about got the legs, it's got the height, and most importantly, it's got the direction all right, straight through the middle.
And O'Connor kicks again, and it's taken in by Toyaba.
That was a half-cut effort, wasn't it?
Mialamu just pops that ball out of the tackle, does really well there. Then everybody looks across for the flag, and that is raised by Stuart Terry, the assistant on that far side. But that was good work by Kevin Mialamu. Man who's won 92 caps now for the New Zealand All Blacks. It's an amazing amount of caps in the squad, isn't it? 1,147 in the 22 names picked for the Barbarians today. That's experience for you. Here's Genia back into the 22, and Barnes wasn't the best service, but he got the ball away. But only as far as Habana. That can often mean trouble, but he finds Toyaba and Cipriani. Barbarians still playing with the extra man. Can they make it count? Tompkins, oh, that's big Nathan Sharp on Tompkins, who's not the biggest. Stringer to Mortlock, who fancies a charge now, having come up with a big tackle. He wants the big run. Back with Cipriani. That's Kano out of the tackle, doing well. Ginazu travelling well. Tackled in the end by his opposite number, Slipper. Out it comes again to Cipriani, and you can see the Barbarians here growing into their game. Bergamasco, good work from Markane, and also Mialamu involved. Little chip from Habana. Was he pulled down? Some of the crowd thought so. Turner goes back. I don't think the referee thought so, and that's all that matters. Habana's not convinced.
Lovely attack. First of all, Jerome Kano's offload was very good, and then the feet of Cipriani really opened up the opposition. The pass to Bergamasco, good offloading from the Barbarians.
Time off.
That's a super offload from Mauro Bergamasco, an awful lot better than his big miss pass. Now, Mayalamu gives the pass.
That was the time to maybe make use of the lack of full-back, Adam Ashley Cooper, who is now back on the field, but Habana not going for the extra pass. He did have a man outside. I think it was Thompson,
3, 5,
who was travelling pretty well.
Stay where you are.
I think Habana tried to make the most of it as well, as we saw. Toyava.
He's out. He's out.
Very little option there but to go for the kick, but he's come outside his 22 and he's lost an awful lot of ground therefore.
A lot of errors so far, quite tentative.
On the line. White on the line.
I say Toyava certainly hasn't had the best start to this game. But Australia a very good attacking position.
Hate to say, it's almost cue the Mexican wave. Let's hope not yet. Here's O'Connor out to Ioane. Ioane going through. The wave will have to wait because Ioane has provided a wonderful piece of skill there. Fantastic finish. I mean, this Wallaby backline, it represents established pedigree, and we saw it there from Digby Ioane. That was a beauty.
Well, he's the best left winger in the world. I don't think there's much doubt about it. And he is at his very best, coming from blind to open side. His timing is good, his footwork is good, and the Aussie midfield just gets on the gain line. A little bit slow, Sterling Mortlock there. The hole opens up, and that's too easy for him. He's got great pace, and once he's going forward, Cipriani is never going to get to him. Not a chance.
He is so good at seeing the gap, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the Australians have worked it, and they're actually prepared to pull the ball back to him. I think the Barbarians will be a little bit disappointed with their defence there, but this guy has sliced up better defences, more organised defences than the Barbarians. He is a real finisher.
And O'Connor from underneath the post makes it 13-3. Lethal finisher, Digby Ioane.
Pulls it back there, O'Connor, a long way. Step inside and then out again. It's a lovely angle.
Cipriani restarts, and that's good restart work by Scott Higginbotham. He was having one or two gastro issues earlier in the week, but he's fine now.
Fine. Too white is fine. No, he isn't. That once.
Genia.
Stay gone.
Barnes slipping as a fly half there, of course. Played there many times before. The option, though, to go for James O'Connor today. Position that he's been groomed for. Previously a wing or a fullback at international levels. Peter Stringer goes and finds eventually Simon Shaw there on that far side. Stringer again. Cipriani floats the ball, finds Habana. Habana, oh, it's lovely. Through the dummy. Tompkins is outside now. Can the Wigan Rugby League man finish here? He's got the ball inside, but the referee is blowing all the time to pull them back for the forward pass. And again, Habana doesn't agree. Lovely work initially from Habana as he threw that dummy.
Great
now, was
pace.
it forward?
That's a great outside break. Yeah, I think it is. Wing and wing together. Lovely outside break. That's forward. Just not precise enough.
Tompkins got a chance there to stretch the legs. But it was forward. Right call from Romain Poit.
It was a brilliant piece of footwork and outside break. Habana using his pace, but the final pass was awful.
O'Connor to Ioane again. He's trying to do it again, this time from deep. Genia. O'Connor. Toyava. Now we'll check where the 22 is, but he's not even going to go down that route. He's going central. Trying to chase his own kick. Barnes was there. Referee didn't like it as Toyaba was impeded.
Clever from Will Genia, but cleverer still from Romain Poit. Saw the Aussie scrum half just jump in front of the catcher, take out Toyaba.
Penalty wide, time off. Bad injury, bad injury.
What's this now? Very clever play, but it's not that clever because you get caught there. Our picture almost got it. You just need to be a little bit wider on that.
And Barnes got it from Simon Shaw as well on the floor. You can see as he comes down, all right in the back of the head and neck.
Here's the perfect angle of it. Will Genia jumps up, no intention to get the ball. Toyaba, no intention of going to ground without the referee seeing it. Penalty.
Barry Barnes feeling that.
Just go back, Barbarians, probably their defence. The line is Cipriani and Mortlock. They've come up. The right-hand side, the Aussie circle, that's Digby-Ioane. But what you need to see is the gap here. Look at the dogleg between Mortlock and Fruin. And when we run this on, watch what happens. Sterling Mortlock's up, he's flat-footed, Fruin's gone wide, and there's your hole. Bang! Digby-Ioane finds the finds the dogleg, sprints through it. Always a danger. And if you're good enough, you can punish a naive defence like that, and that was beautifully done.
It's good to see Berwick Barnes sitting up. Still needs some treatment. And as he gets treatment and gets back to his feet, I'll just tell you about what's coming up on Sky Sports today. HD1 for that big game in the Aviva Premiership, Northampton against Saracens at Franklin's Gardens. We continue here at Twickenham with Cipriani trying to pick out Tompkins.
Slipper picked out Cipriani and Romain Poit. He's all eyes today, he's not missing anything.
And the penalty will be from where the ball landed, so much closer to the Australian line.
You may think yellow, you know, that was a cheap little shot on Cipriani.
When he went straight to the pocket, it was going to be yellow. So Slipper goes, and Danny Cipriani, the man to feel his weight there, the loose head prop, and Romain Poit, as you say, not missing anything and not being afraid to get the card out either. That's Adam Ashley-Cooper earlier in the game, and now James Slipper. Cipriani pokes it into the corner.
Good refereeing. Now left to screen, Cipriani kicks the ball, bang, just hit later. Romain Poit, I say his eyes are spot on today. You can't really miss this. Left shoulder as well. Good decision from Poit though. Barbarians games, sometimes they're spoiled by referees not using cards.
Little hangover maybe from Shaw on Barnes, which I'm pretty sure was unintentional, but caused a little flashpoint there from the Australians. Anyway, Slipper's now gone, and Cipriani is still there to pick up this ball. Tompkins goes across field looking for support. He's going to get it from Matfield, who seems to be absolutely everywhere. Stringer to Cipriani, puts that down on the boot, and Genia is trying to get across, and as Genia does so well, he was on the scene when it mattered, the scrum half.
His mind's quick and his feet just as fast. It's a clever kick from Cipriani, he pulls it back on the angle. That's well weighted for Fruin, but Genia just reads that superbly. Two very clever defensive scrum halves on the field, Peter Stringer and Will Genia. The Aussie scrum half so fast to get there.
Barbarian himself last season, of course, Will Genia, along with Adam Ashley-Cooper and that man O'Connor, who restarted the game. Here's Mortlock, the Wallaby, who's a Barbarian today. George Gregan played against Australia, didn't he, at Wembley in '08. Cipriani and Toyaba.
No hands, gold!
Berwick Barnes back into action, still feeling a little bit groggy, I'm sure. Bergamasco is coming to Tompkins again, and Tompkins tries to go. There's a little bit of off the ball as well involving Bergamasco, and the referee has his eyes fixed on another penalty offence on the Australian 10-metre line, and that's a worrying sign for Australia. David Pocock has just gone down.
there's a fair amount of spite in this game. Rob Simmons went through really hard on Mauro Bergamasco, and the Italian did not like it one bit. You're certainly right about the concern for David Pocock. He's developing into one of the most important rugby players on the planet. Sterling Mortlock has been a great servant for Australia. This man will be for many years to come. He was picked when George Smith was only just past his best, but Robbie Dean saw in the young man the future to be something special, and in that game against South Africa in the World Cup quarter-final, he delivered arguably one of the performances of the World Cup. He's getting better and better. Well, as a young man, of course, he was identified as the captain of the under-20 team for Australia, that very successful side. Played in the 2008 World Championship in Wales, and he was captain of that team. And today, getting the chance to lead, he will not want to leave the field because of that honour. Horwell is the current captain of the squad. Dean's trying to grow the leadership, and I think he knows in David Pocock he has a man who can shoulder that responsibility, literally with those chunky shoulders of his. Now here's the hit on Bergamasco. Bang, just driven back. And he stayed on top of him, Simmons. And held on to him, Miles. Held on to him, he didn't let him go. Matfield down for the line-out. Stringer to Cipriani, and Fruin's trying to find a way through the middle. Stringer, he's on his own there. He's going to need help, the Irishman. He gets it from Bergamasco. Taken down by Matfield and Nathan Sharp. They've had some battles over the years, those two. Stringer again. Ball lost, though. Chance maybe for the Australians to counter, but they lose it as well. And the first knock-on means put into the Wallabies. Jeremy Kaino, not at his best at the moment. Now, of course, with a man in the bin, we have to have a front row replacement. Not a bad one. Ben Alexander comes on. And to complete the broadcast picture today, don't forget, you can use the red button to watch what should be a fascinating and close test match between the England women and New Zealand. Always close when those two nations meet these days. And of course, a repeat of the World Cup final. Ben Alexander on at the moment, but he very much a first-choice Australian prop forward in an area that still hasn't been resolved. Still a big issue for the Wallabies. Genia. And there's Turner. Of course, that was the corner when England launched that famous score for Ashton a year ago on this ground. That's when things were going well for England. Oh, that's good work, and it's Newman off the bench. Alexander. Oh, it's a lovely ball to O'Connor as well, and O'Connor stepping. That's lovely play, but it's that final pass again. And Alexander can't finish it because the referee is blown again. And how many times have we seen that at Twickenham today? That final ball going astray after some excellent approach work, and this really was excellent, wasn't it, Stuart? Well, both props there did brilliantly. Ma'afu's offload is superb, and Alexander really runs a good line, runs a better line. There's the offload. That is superb. Pelota now, sorry, and then Alexander pulls his man wide. Great scissor ball. The front rowers do well, and then it's final pass, Itis again.
Crutch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Kano away off the base of that scrum, and that's Fruin showing his power again. Cipriani shows the ball to O'Connor, but it's well tracked back by Pocock, and here's Adam Ashley-Cooper. It's one of those games that's nearly there. It's just missing the final pass, as we've said. We could have witnessed some really good tries. Just the one so far. For Ioane. That's gone a long way. Very quick thinking there by Brian Habana. And here's Turner. And we've got 5 minutes until the interval. Barbarians would love to snatch something in this period. Yeah, Australia down to 14 men. They didn't take advantage before. Defensively, of course, Brian Habana
such a good player, didn't create the fireworks he did in Paris in 2007, but he's a brilliant defensive player and also a great chaser. And I'd just like to see today Habana gets a ball in his hands. We've seen him once, just like to see him attacking more. Wonderful attacking player. In South Africa sometimes maybe just spends a little too much time just being a kick chaser.
See that Ben Tapuai has stripped off the replacement back, or one of the two replacement backs for Australia today. They've got a 5-2 split on the bench. I think Berwick Barnes is about to come off. Here he goes, hopping along there in midfield. He needs to go, does Berwick Barnes. Won't do himself any good. Has to wait for a break in play. The ball's going to go back to him again. He will hope that's his final pass of the day. O'Connor again, and that is good too to find Higginbotham. This should be it. Oh no! Final pass again. It's quite incredible, isn't it?
Well, the Australians are looking in complete control with 14 men, but this is unbelievable. This is the fourth really good opportunity. Another gorgeous little offload from James O'Connor. And you're thinking now, just put this one away. Ball in two hands. He's running a good straight line. And a horrible pass. No chance for Turner there. Victor Matfield wouldn't have caught that ball. Nathan Sharp wouldn't have caught that ball. This is beautiful play from O'Connor. The line from Higginbotham is a beauty. And the pass, well, it's forward, high, hopeless.
It's done, Nick.
I think Turner was going to be caught, but he was certainly not going to catch that ball. Barnes is put out of his misery. After this tour, he goes home to get married, so let's hope he's fit for that at least.
Well, he's the man Australia needed, isn't he? Yeah, he'll be fit for his marriage. He's the man they needed taking that ball off O'Connor. That would have been the score. With some great offloading, this guy James O'Connor, he gets on that gain line, plays it very tight. That's a beauty from David Pocock. When Australia gets some fast momentum to their game, they're really dangerous. Pelota now, that's my favourite, and then James O'Connor's comes just afterwards. I don't know if we'll see it. A plethora of offloads, and I held back there. Something not very good in terms of final passes.
This could have been a wash-the-mouth-out moment had you continued. Simon Shaw's OK to continue in this match.
A waste of final passes.
Pause, engage.
A botch-up of final passes, but here's Pocock stealing it off Stringer. And it's Australia pushing for this score just before half-time. Be a long way back for the Barbarians. Might start to seem a long week for them if that is the scoreline at half-time. But again, going back to other games in recent times, they've had a few things said to them at the interval to create the right kind of response in the second half. I don't think this has been a lack of effort in the first half. It's just that Australia have looked like the side that plays together on a more regular basis. Here's O'Connor again to Adam Ashley Cooper, who's upended but gets it back. It was a knock-on though. And the Barbarians survive this attack, which maybe is quite important in the context of the match as a whole. There's Robbie Deans looking with Jim Williams over the top of the parapet.
Clever tackle there from Mauro Bergamasco. He just whipped the Australian feet away, and it was the speed of that whip that just dislodged the ball. Graham Henry and Steve Hansen, World Cup winning coaches. Robbie Deans would not like to lose this match. The World Cup semi-final was a horrible moment when Henry's New Zealand put Australia to the sword. Today would not be revenge, but it would be humiliating for Deans if Henry was to get one over yet again. It doesn't look that way at the moment.
Steve Hansen, who will surely go home to be anointed as the new New Zealand coach. Here's Cipriani. Good cutout ball. It's going to give Tompkins a bit of space, or maybe it was a while in the end getting to him. Thought initially when Cipriani released the ball, there's going to be more time on the side of the Wigan winger. See his Wigan socks as well when he's in action. Of course, those rugby league socks here at Twickenham have been here before. Wigan have played on this ground in the Middlesex Sevens. Didn't they play well all those years ago? It's Thompson. And Jerome Kano, who got married a week or so ago. John Arthur of Ulster, I remember, went home to be his best man, therefore couldn't play for Ulster last weekend. Here's Adam Ashley Cooper. That's good from Ashley Cooper, swerving his way through. Nathan Sharp looking to offload. Maybe he was worried it was going to be the final pass. But here's Genia. O'Connor. Newman Tapawai, and the flag goes up. Look, we've not quite got there. It's worth staying with this game, you feel, because it's going to happen at some point. It's going to break free. It's going to break out. Yeah, now the Barbarians have gone quickly and they need to get away. Australia definitely threatening, and I think Mealamu's thinking. He's not thinking. Well, it's not a great kick, is it? It's picked out Adam Ashley Cooper. If he was going to kick there, Mealamu, it had to go to touch. Adam Ashley Cooper comes back. And the final play of the game, and Australia have the ball back. How significant is that missed touch going to be? Genia. Kano gets back. There's going to be a penalty. Ioane's already scored a for another. Australia with Genia. They've got men on that side. Habana steps in on Pocock. That's really good work. Genia again. Horn gets it out, and it is scored by Turner. And the Barbarians are made to pay, first of all, for launching the attack. But when the men weren't there, Mealamu went for the kick. He missed his touch, and it's cost his side dear. Lockie Turner scores, and Australia have a very handsome lead. First 20 minutes or so, Australia will play very low tempo, and the Barbarians were able to hold them out. Pace of the game picking up, really in favour of the international team. Bad kick in there, and Adam Ashley Cooper started to look very dangerous. From now on, the organisation really being tested. Look, numerically they're up against it, and watch O'Connor's hands again. Brilliant, and Pocock's strength just to ride that high tackle. They come round again, and Matfield, maybe he should have stepped out, left Kano to make the final tackle. Kano, I think, has got Horn. Matfield steps in. It's just disorganisation. And Turner with the finish, and Australia looking very much the dominant force now. So it's Australia with the first half tries. It's Barbarians with all the work to do. Left on his own on that far side. His colleagues are at the head of the tunnel, waiting to leave the pitch. James O'Connor with the conversion. He got a blow, didn't he, for his troubles, but it was good hands again from O'Connor. He's gone really well. He's such a talented
It was worth
player.
it. A fly half who can take as much punishment as O'Connor, it means he's creating space for those around him, and he's looked very dangerous at 10 throughout this game.
Very definition of taking one for the team. He's got little Stringer in front of him, who on the charge, as O'Connor just took too long, having started his move towards the ball. Stringer knew the law. The referee says that is fair game. It wasn't a penalty, it was a conversion. O'Connor.
This one, the first time in 8 meetings, if they do turn this around to win. Australia with 2 tries in their first half and looking to push on. Let's hear, though, from the Barbarians head coach Graham Henry, who's ready to talk to Tyrone Howe.
Graham, the challenge with the Barbarians is always how to come together in such a limited space of time. What do your players need to do to turn this game around?
Well, they're trying to play too much rugby down our end. They're creating a bit of space. So we need to kick down the tram lines, get some field position and play game from there. Put a bit more heat on their scrum. Make the first time tackles, but they play with a lot of heart, a lot of character. I'm pleased with them. Not quite playing the game right yet.
There's always...
maybe if we can have another 3 or 4 games together, it'll be right.
Yeah, that's always that time challenge. I mean, you coach the Lions because you love the philosophy behind that concept. What is the appeal for you to be involved with the Barbarians?
Oh, it's a unique team. You know, there's 10 different people, 10 different countries representing this team, and that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, and it's brilliant. They've bonded very well all week.
and there's plenty of edge. The odd niggle, it just further confirms.
Maybe there's too much age.
Yeah, well, there's no such thing as a friendly in this game.
No, but they're enjoying it. Just need to get a couple of points early, hopefully.
Thanks very much, Graham.
Okay.
Back to Stuart and Miles.
All those different countries, and with Graham Henry and Steve Hansen making 7 changes at half-time. Plenty of different players in this second period. We will go through them at the next breaking play, and probably the breaking play after that. We'll get there eventually. Maybe we'll just sort of, as and when they get the ball, we'll tell you about them. Here's Genia. Australia, as you were. Of course, we saw Berwick Barnes go off injured in that first half to be replaced by Ben Tapawai. So here we go. Perugini into the front row. That freshman playing as a substitute for Ironi on Thursday night in Cardiff. Arrived at the team hotel at midnight to pick up with his colleagues here for this fixture. Change at scrum. Strauss for Mir Lamu.
Yep.
White for Thompson. Jason White, of course, the Scottish international. Now with Clement Auvergne. Richard Kahui is on, and there he is. And there he was. Bortolami replacing Shaw in the second row. Matfield staying on his final game of rugby. Rambeni is now on, and also Kenatali into the back line division. And Richard Kahui certainly knows that he's on the field now.
Well, he had a fine World Cup, didn't he? Kenatale on, Rambini on, so the Fijians there. Whee! Ma'afu nice and high there. It's a good pick and drive, actually, afterwards from Victor Matfield. There's the penalty. Matfield picked it up, went on. There was a knock-on, so there was no advantage. And Graham Henry sounded the pragmatic note, didn't he? And this time, Cipriani is not going to the corner. The other thing the Barbarians didn't do in the first half was take the penalties when they were available. Where Australia went for them, built up some points, dropped goals, the Barbarians went for the corner. This time it's different.
Not sure you meant to say nice and high.
You know what I meant? It just gets the juices going. Just enjoyed the competitive streak.
Here's Cipriani. Oh, he's fallen over, but the ball has got there. He had a different sort of view of his penalty attempt, but it was a successful one nevertheless. And the Barbarians, very importantly, getting that first score of this second half and trying to build themselves back into the match. As Stuart was saying, taking that kicking opportunity to get a little bit more onto the scoreboard than they were.
We're doing inelegance, aren't we, this half? It's that wobbly old drop kick and then the slipped penalty, but it gets over.
Another slip there by Kenatale, the Fijian scrum half, who replaced Peter Stringer, whose last act was to pickpocket James O'Connor, who I think had just about started his run to the ball, although that was a point of debate at half-time, whether it was the movement of the arm that fooled the referee. Here's Matfield.
First time Jerome Kano has got over the gain line, quite significant.
Didn't see too much of Kano, did we, in that first half? Kahui, who started the Rugby World Cup final, something you'll never be able to take away from him now. Oh, look at the ball there, just bouncing back away from Adam Ashley Cooper, who equips himself so well in whatever position he finds himself on the field. There's Turner, and he was hounded there by the Barbarians. Some fresh legs, but maybe a bit of a fresh attitude, or upping the ante here, the Barbars.
Yeah, Richard Kahui with the kick. I mean, this guy, centre wing, he's a sensational player wherever. That's a great kick. Tompkins, a little bit inexperienced. He really makes it quite easy because he commits himself so much. Bang, off the right foot. He's got there so quickly. Adam Ashley Cooper's got all the time in the world to beat him, and he is a very composed player.
Adrian Strauss goes to the front, and then as the ball comes back to him, well, he's claiming it didn't go forward, I think, or maybe he's just furious. I think he might have been using some choice language. It went forward. something off the high belt that we didn't understand.
They have a language all their own in Bloemfontein.
Crutch. Touch.
Strauss in the Free State, the cheetah. Cousin Ricard, of course, with Leinster.
Amazing in Ricard Strauss, outstanding in the Heineken Cup last season. Suddenly, with Sean Cronin coming from Connacht, he's no longer got the number 2 shirt. Such a competitive world. So many fine South African hookers around this globe, aren't there? So many.
It's a pretty fine Irish one as well there in Cronin.
Touch.
Yeah, big future.
Pause. Engage.
Fantastic score against Montpellier. Anyway, back to this game, and James O'Connor with a little dink. Let's see where it lands. Nearly for Ioane. Tompkins. There, 1 minute gone, the next. The ball. And the referee pulls back for that knock-on from Australia, and Ioane on the chase through from O'Connor's chip. Sam Tompkins, his brother Joel, of course, slightly older, going to Saracens, leaving Wigan, but this a one-off for Sam Tompkins, this appearance in Union. He's signed a new contract with Wigan.
Kentali's come on now. Stringer defends very well in the first half. What he's got to do, Kentali, is watch this space. Tompkins has no great experience, so the scrum half has to cover that hole. O'Connor sees it's not there, and Digby Ioane's almost through. It's a clever kick from O'Connor. With a young man from Wigan there, not used to the positional nuances of Union, there will be space for the kick, almost exploited by O'Connor and Ioane.
Referee's going to reset this scrum. It is Namir Kenatali about to put in, the Fijian scrum half. Started 3 of the World Cup games for his country. Was a replacement in the match against Wales. Certainly Fiji's number 1, number 9 at the moment, wearing 20 in this game.
There is a mark set up.
New faces in the front row, Perugini and Strauss for the Barbarians, alongside
Touch.
Marcanet.
Didn't I give Perugini man of the match in the Barbarians game last year?
In May, he was man of the match here. Against England. Of course, the Barbarians won that match. They went to Cardiff and won as well. Exactly what Australia are trying to do, beat the side on this ground and then go to Cardiff next week and do the same. Here's Cipriani trying to switch play to Rambeni, who's playing for the Barbars for the 5th time today. Well, servant of the club.
He's been decent so far, Danny Cipriani. He's not set the world alight, but he's been solid.
Here he comes again. Pulls that one down. Cross comes Genia and Victor Matfield. Still flying around the field. Big Matfield, who was captain in the win against New Zealand here 2 years ago. Genia says we'll have the penalty.
5 offside.
It's Victor Matfield who was offside on that occasion.
O'Connor takes his time. Now, we talked about Kentali with young Tompkins there covering the area. Cipriani, right-hand side of the halfway line, about to chip. Genia, you can see him. This is an area that has to be covered. It's a clever kick from Cipriani, but not for the first time today. Just watch Will Genia sweeps it up superbly.
I think Matfield timed his run pretty well, actually.
He's played well, Matfield, in loose.
There's O'Connor.
Liner-esque in his strength. Can you hear Fitzpatrick laughing in our studio?
No hands.
Genia waiting. He's done this a few times today. He's waited for the
Hands on.
forwards to get back in position and try and give it that injection of power that is needed when it slows down. Consider getting the ball out to the backs as well, Genia, but there's no thought of that at the moment. Now it's moved to O'Connor, and that's good from James O'Connor. Travelling well there. Nathan Sharp. That's Ashley Cooper, and he's done really well. He's looking for Horn, and Tompkins needed to really be on his mettle there, and he was, as he has through the game. As you were saying, one or two positional issues. Cipriani pointed those out earlier in the match, but that was to be expected.
Oh, no criticism there. Now O'Connor very strong again, just bouncing through the challenges. Definitely a different team, Australia, when they can put some pace on the game. Inside Rambeni, leaves Jason White for dead. The substitutions start. Stephen Moore's going to come on now. As Pallotta now comes, I'll leave the rest to you, Miles. A phalanx.
More changes. We're going to see Ben Alexander back on, and also Stephen Moore's come on at hooker, so a prop and a hooker change. You can see Nathan Sharp going off, so Horwell is on, James Horwell into the second row, and Radiki Samo is into the back row, and these are very prominent players, big name players to bring on, and the impact is immediate. Moore finds Horwell, Horwell goes in. Well, I'm not sure if Robbie Deans will claim that as an inspired substitution, but what he did was to bring some genuine quality off the bench and a lot of experience too. And James Horwell delighted with his first touch. It's a try-scoring touch. There's half an hour to go and Australia are taking control here. Did it go 5?
Yeah, I don't think it did. That's what you want from your captain. Stephen Moore, the reserve hooker, makes the big dent. And Horwell, the Wallaby captain, scores. Very hard to see from that angle. It doesn't look as if it did. But what a great masterpiece there from Deans, because Stephen Moore's come on. There's the big hit that makes the difference. There's the soft offload. Again, Australian offloading, the difference. The Barbarians can't handle that. But that looks dubious.
Bit of a Bill Shankly moment for Robbie Deans with a substitution.
Well,
has to go 5 metres though.
No, that's not. If that's gone 4, it's debatable. But now that is not Romain Poit's fault though. He's policing the line out at the other end.
What it does do is make life very difficult here for the Barbarians. Higginbotham, who's been strong, both with his carries, but on the floor as well. Genia, O'Connor, in comes Habana, and he was pretty strong there too. He's always sniffing the interception, is Brian Habana. I think that time he knew it was going to be a man and ball job, and he clattered in, but clattering away here is Alexander. And suddenly it's all Australia and their new men too. Stephen Moore again. Genia to the short side, it's Horwell once more. I mean, that would be something, 2 tries in your first 2 or 3 minutes on the field. It's stolen, but illegally.
You're on the ground, you play.
And it's a penalty, Australia, playing the ball on the floor.
On the ground and play the ball.
And it's a sin bin as well for Salvatore Perugini. So no mercy shown there by the referee, Poit either. Australia or Barbarian. 2 Australian sin bins in this match, and now we have one for the Barbarians to make their life even more difficult. If it wasn't difficult enough.
They go 5 this time.
Moore throws and throws too long. Cipriani comes in, he's given it to Horn, and Horn could just have decided the outcome if it wasn't decided already. Mistake by Danny Cipriani after the overthrow from Stephen Moore, and the Australians score their 4th try, and these 2 after half-time have come in quick succession, and they could well be game killers.
Well, it could be a rout here. The first one for the try didn't go 5. That one goes over the top. It's a bad throw. Danny Cipriani shouldn't offload this one. It's a really poor pass. Cipriani just has to take the contact there. That's a really speculative pass. I know it's the Barbarians and it's not a test match, but you don't just gift points like that. Hansen and Henry will not like that. That's an ugly moment.
A little glimpse there of Higginbotham bemoaning the overthrow, berating somebody, presumably Stephen Moore, but while he was doing that, his side was scoring behind his back. So Horn goes in, Cipriani rues the mistake, O'Connor obviously gets the 2 points, and this now will be a test of the Barbarians, not just their ability but their character.
Nowhere for the Barbarians to go either, because Graham Henry emptied the bench at half-time. It's up to these guys now to really find a bit of pride, guts and determination.
Ioane, he can work his way through a maze, that man. Genia, Tapawai, all it's done is fuel the Australian hunger by the looks of it. They just want even more now. Adam Ashley Cooper, and it goes to Lockie Turner. Back inside to Adam Ashley Cooper, and inside that 22, up off the floor quickly. It's starting to look a lot more precise from the men in green and gold. There's Tapawai, that's a really good offload. Slipper, oh, he's lost it right at the end. It wasn't a pass, it was just a drop that time.
That was really slick passing from the Wallabies, but again, it's the ability to offload in his own 22. Just watch this from David Pocock. Missed pass, he's strong enough to ride the tackle, hold, bang, Habana comes in, and suddenly you've got a 4-on-1. Pocock is so strong, he pulls men in, creates space for those around him. It was brilliant play from this flanker. He's a lot more than just someone who's a thief on the floor. That's lovely, not the first time today.
It's the judging of the angle on the pass, isn't it? Perfect.
Well, you have to have the strength to be able to ride the tackle of two men, and then the angle and the weight, you just open it up for Ashley Cooper, who's looking really dangerous now.
And that's it for David Pocock. Nearly scored. He was with Slipper. He was about to go over the line. He finished his afternoon with a try. But again, he's shown himself to be world class. Matt Hodgson comes on. So who's not on at the moment? Of all the replacements, it's poor old Nick Phipps. He's not been used, but I'm sure he will be. The reserve scrum half.
I know Will Genia is really important to Australia, but at 32-6 up, they can do without him. But having said that, you know, right now, no doubt at all, the number 2 Australian scrum half is Luke Burgess, who's been doing some wonderful things in his early Toulouse days.
You captain.
But Phipps, I guess, with him in France, he's going to need some experience.
The first was
It's opened up the door for Phipps, who's got 3 caps so far. Another man who plays with the Melbourne side.
Can't remember, do Aussies pick overseas players? I think they still do, don't they? There aren't many of them.
I think the policy is to be homegrown as best as they can be. Oh, that's gone behind Cipriani and Habana. They didn't want anything to do with it.
They need something big from men like Jerome Kaino now.
Here is Danny Cipriani. Another hand in. Australian hand, I think it belonged to Alexander. Not a deliberate knock-on as the referee just signals there. He was trying to intercept.
He's been incredibly mobile, hasn't he, Alexander? Now one of the few men who stood out for the Barbarians, Victor Matfield.
Well, he's a truly great player, isn't he? Of that, there's no doubt.
It's an overused word, great, but I would say this century he is up there with McCaw, with Daniel Carter and Fourie du Preez as the great players of the last 10, 11 years. Outstanding career.
110 caps he amassed over the years, so he's up to another form of century there. Just one behind John Smith. There's 2 great South Africans retiring after the World Cup. Smith not from rugby in general, of course. He's with the Saracens. Matfield calls it a day in all rugby at the end of today. So he doesn't want it to end with a really heavy defeat. He needs to bring his side back into it. But it's all going Australia's way at the moment. And they've got another penalty here when the referees sorted out this little argument. Leading by 18 points to 3 at half-time. Up to 32-6 now. Let's have a listen to the officials.
After you blew your whistle, 16 executed the tackle,
Okay.
just a penalty.
Just a penalty, yeah. 16. I blew my whistle. End of story.
Ticking
11.
off for
Time
Adrian
on.
Strauss.
Correct. Time on.
O'Connor puts the ball out.
9, goal! 9.
Brian Habana was the man penalised there. Great degree of frustration. He's starting to dash off his line and really not holding the shape either.
Here comes Phipps. He's on to replace Will Genia at scrum half. And he got on to the 80th minute. And Phipps, who now touches the ball, hadn't have got on the field. We've been wondering had he said something wrong this week. Glad to see that he is now part of the action and everybody has been involved. As is always the case with games like these, Samo ended up being a winger at the World Cup against Russia, needs must on that occasion. Horwell, try scorer in this second half. Phipps and Moore. Here comes Horwell again, and he has walked through. Too easy, really. As good as Australia are at the moment, the Barbarians are not helping themselves.
Victor! Victor!
No, it's no good pushing around now, Jason. You've got to make the tackles and hit the ruck. The other thing now that the Barbarians are not doing, they are not committing men to numbers at the breakdown. They're allowing Australia to just control these phases. And Horwell, well, this is way too easy here. The Lions are going to be very upset with this. One tackle, two tackles.
Kenatale, no interest there.
No, now Jason White was very upset about it, but if you look at Kenatale had no interest, but I'm afraid Jason White as well in front of him, Scottish international, was even less interested.
Time for a conference underneath those posts.
In fact, it may have been Bortolami. He may do White a disservice, but this doesn't do a lot for the Barbarians' reputation in a time when every weekend is fought for. They need to scrap here.
Here's the wave. Cue the crowd thinking the game is over. It's going to be fascinating to see how the Barbarians do react, do respond though. Sort of morbid fascination, I suppose. It comes to the result, which is now surely decided. Well, he's decided. Here's Horwell.
Yeah, Bortolami first. Kenatale, that's terrible defence. Not international defence. Jason White was actually just nudged off the ball, which is why he was a bit upset, but poor tackling. James Horwell.
On for a hat-trick.
Unbelievable.
Well, Alan Ashley Cooper did one in 8 minutes at the World Cup. What price go to the bookies today? And so I'll have a fiver on Horwell coming off the bench to score a hat-trick in very little time. Well, he's on, and Australia are on again here. Samo to Horn, had the option of Turner outside, but he chose to keep it on the inside, and then in doing that lost control of the ball.
And the Barbarians have lost control of the pace of the game, and that's enabling Australia to start offloading. They're taking complete possession control, and there's no way the Barbarians can live with them. They're not helping themselves. There's no great line speed defensively, and around the fringes, Graham Henry and Steve Hansen will know that their charges just aren't putting enough pressure on. They've lost the gain line, and with it, they've lost the match.
Very unusual feeling for Graham Henry in a test match to be on the losing side, let alone this type of scoreline. It's really sloppy now. Mortlock, who set the tone for Endeavour in the first half when he really was putting himself about. The Barbarians are going to need everybody to do that now. Here's Turner. 18 minutes for the Australians to enjoy themselves, or for the Barbarians to show the kind of skills and character that you would expect, but lost by Kahui.
Forward first, scrum goal.
No great fault attached to Kahui. I was just thinking, though, you know, the New Zealanders who so recently won the World Cup, Mealamu outstanding in that performance, anonymous today. Kano really scruffy today. Toiava so poor when he's been on the pitch. You can see that these are men, they've scaled their rugby version of Everest, and right now they are nowhere near top level rugby. Mentally they are switched off.
Well, at least for the Barbarians, here's the good news, they're back up to 15. Perugini, there he is, out of the sin bin.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Man who's beaten South Africa, New Zealand and England in Barbarian colours. Perugini. He's not going to beat Australia today. Penalty, Australia, O'Connor. There's Turner. Out it goes to Adam Ashley-Cooper, trying to step away from Rambeni, and does. Tompkins tries to get back, but that is a great line from Turner, and he's going to score another. Fine try. The squad that plays together, thrives together. That is Australia today, and they're making it show.
Quite brilliant once again from Adam Ashley-Cooper, who is becoming a dominant personality. The wraparound from O'Connor. Turner gives the pass. Look at this line. Fixes the man on the inside. Turner just loops round in support there. It's shabby defence, but it's really good play from Adam Ashley-Cooper. An excellent support work from Lucky Turner. Suddenly, the final passes are going to hand. Steps inside his man. Great strength. Fends off Rambini. Good ball with the left hand. And Lucky Turner in and out, coasting.
It's what Australia were threatening to do in the first half. Now it's starting to work. Turner, the man who scored on the stroke of half-time. How important that try turned out to be. Maybe it was the one that took Australia to that breaking point in the game when they were clearly on top and could push on from there. And Turner himself now on for a hat-trick, like second-row Horwell.
No doubt at all, the dam well and truly burst now. James O'Connor, 5 from 6. It's always interesting to see how a kicker reacts when he's under no pressure at all. He's been a big match kicker, not always one when the game's done and dusted. Just see now, does he have that ability to just keep metronomically striking this ball?
He doesn't have Peter Stringer running at him, as he did in the first half. O'Connor through with his style, through with the points. Australia eyeing up 50 now, this representing a very good afternoon's work. And remember, the Barbarians were looking for that Tri-Nations hat-trick. New Zealand beaten in 2009 here, South Africa 2010, but not Australia today. They won at Wembley in 08, and they're on for another win here, and they're on for another try here with Higginbotham. Once more, the ball lost in contact, and the Barbarians given a chance. And Habana, he's looking for something special, and of course a Barbarian moment can be a very special thing, but it's not going to be this time.
Well, the big men are doing so well. Horwell, the captain, makes another crunching tackle, but Higginbotham, what a take from the restart. Watch Horwell now, captain. It's 6:46, and he is smashing the hell out of Barbarians. After his mate in the back row, Higginbotham, made a 40-metre charge. Some people think very unlucky not to take Rocky Elsom's place in the World Cup. I would be amongst them.
Australians absent today. Elsom, of course, Parlu, Kepu, Vickerman, Cooper, McCabe, Mitchell, Beale. Of course, Burgess, as you were saying, gone to France. All of those players not on this tour, this short tour. Cipriani to Mortlock. And Mortlock still, you can see, giving it all in all that he does. Chance to bring it this way, and just maybe Strauss. Habana's the man you're going to want to conjure up something on this near side, but even for Habana, it was getting too crowded. Strauss goes cross-field and crosses halfway in doing so. Kenatali waits, but it's slow ball. And it's slow ball because the Barbarians were holding on to it. Well, according to referee Romain Poit. Stewart.
They got no shape at the breakdown at all. They're not able to stop Australia winning their own ball, and now they're not winning anything of their own. So they can't get any territory. They're not holding possession, and with a defensive alignment in tatters, I'm afraid the white flag is being waved there. Marco Bortolami, another of very experienced Barbarians. You know, a few of these players have got to find some individual pride to put into the collective shirt, because look at that minute master now. That is ugly as you like. 4 tries in 13 minutes. Oh dear.
6 tries over the whole of the piece for the Barbarians. And you won't bet against them adding to that, or even in this move. In fact, Tapawai, that strong running from Tapawai. And it was nearly there for Hodgson as well. He was trying to support, trying to get with Tapawai, but he showed his promise in that run, did Ben Tapawai of the Queensland Reds. And Danny Cipriani decides the best place for this is out of play. He's going to come back at the Barbarians almost straight away.
It will. Horwell dominating the lineouts. And Seru Rambini here. It's a great run from the youngster, but just keep your eye on the big Fijian. Such a strong defensive player. Oh dear. Tapawai does very well. I think he should have given that ball to Rob Horne. I think the try would have been on inexperience, but Rambini again, no attempt at a tackle there.
Well, he could have gone left or right. Could have gone left to Horne, right to Hodgson.
The Horne ball was an absolute sitter.
Here's Moore. And down it comes to Phipps and O'Connor. We're just hoping somebody will be there that time. Maybe expecting some cross wires on that occasion for Australia. But they've made the link in this second half, by and large. Kenatale to Cipriani. Well, Mortlock in the end was tackled by Ioane. Had he looked for the interception, maybe the winger could have taken it. Here's Kenatale again to Rambeni. Kenatale to Cipriani. Oh. Matfield through the fingers. Down goes Markkanen.
Another poor pass from Danny
Looking tired
Cipriani.
here, the Barbarians. Kano. Strauss. Cipriani. Mortlock. Ooh. To Bergamasco. And then he throws it up in the air.
Dear
It's
Lord.
not looking very pretty at the moment.
Well, credit Australia for keeping the pressure up defensively. They are very quick. They're not giving the Barbarians any space across the park, but there's some speculative stuff that's going nowhere. They kick the ball away. Adam Ashley Cooper's coming back hard. If they try to go wide, they're getting smashed in the tackle, and there's no one coming through the middle.
Moore to Simmons, that works pretty well. Unopposed, through goes O'Connor. Matfield's got him, but O'Connor's got the ball away. Here comes Moore again, and Turner's waiting on this side, but Ioane's going through the middle first of all.
Well, they've got a massive...
Another man looking for another try, and I think he might well have got that. Digby Ioane. Referee's going to check with Graham Hughes, the television match official.
Yes or no?
But Ioane thinks he's scored. And that looks like the one that brings up the half century for Australia.
So powerful, isn't he? Bang, straight on the line. That's a really good finish. 5 metres out, I was thinking he's not going to get there, but his leg drive is exceptional. And the Barbarians, well, they're exceptionally lame now defensively, and he's well over there. I think that'll do.
Well, he started the scoring this afternoon. Now he's got his second. And that was a fantastic finish. Great power from Ioane. And there is the 50.
There's no doubt, I'm certain he's the best left winger in the world. Certainly going forward, there's no better finisher. So tough, and he's so quick on his feet as well, isn't he? A nightmare to defend against.
His form in the Tri-Nations was tip-top, wasn't it? got that injury at the start of the World Cup, so he lost his place because of that. But such a dangerous performer, and there are options here. It could have gone wide. Moore brought it back towards Ioane, and he's such a good tracker.
Oh, he's fantastic, but the way that O'Connor just danced through two in feeble tackles early on when he was going nowhere, that's what set it up. The fly half should have been stopped in his tracks, got the front foot, and on the front foot the Wallabies are very good indeed.
No attempt for the Barbarians to charge that one down. They've lost a little bit of heart for that as well.
This is
a little dance from O'Connor, as you say.
He's got to be smashed there. Look, Victor Matfield is giving him a cuddle. So many opportunities to offload it. Take it in the end, and then the big step first, the second step, then that leg drive. He is a powerful man, Ioane.
And of course the Barbarians still without a try. And here's Ioane again. Who's going to be first to the hat-trick? Good strength in the tackle that time from the Barbarians. Good work from Kenatali, the scrum half.
We could not see you.
And Strauss and Tompkins were there too.
Yes. Okay, one white.
Well, that is a sorry tale if you're a Barbarians fan. Poor old Mickey Steele-Bodger will not be enjoying that. This is not a great moment in Barbarians history. Ioane, low slung, brilliant step in again, and I'm afraid more missed tackles. He's not easy to stop. Got to put something more into it than we're seeing from the Barbars here.
Eusebiu Ginazo is back on for Markane into the front row. Up comes Habana, as he's done all through the game, actually, and timed those like he normally does very well indeed. Stephen Moore, and there's Horwell. Horwell, he could be the hat-trick hero first. Out it goes from Phipps, and Adam Ashley-Cooper, who deserves something. James O'Connor, too, has really shown himself to be the talent and in this position of fly half as well.
Higginbotham has been very good, against not very much, but he carries well. And Horwell, sensational appearance from the bench.
There he is again. I think you sort of know a try is going to be scored. It's just a matter of who. Is it Slipper? Moore is trying to wriggle over. Now he tries to get the ball back, realising he was just a matter of centimetres short. There is Horwell again.
No hands. 17 away.
Don't be greedy, captain.
Five wide.
Forwards battering away. Simmons involved once more. Matfield is under it, and he's staying under it as if to show to the referee that it's not been scored. And in fact, he's got it.
Just to check.
Australia had about 6-2 if that had moved.
Is it a try, yes or no?
Great defence from Matfield, but that ball should have gone to the backs. It really should.
It's more than a hint of green about that from the forwards.
Big Victor seems to have got his substantial frame beneath it. There you go. Keep your eye on the South African man. He's rolled his man. He's underneath him. Really good defence here from Matfield. 74 minutes gone, 6:53 down. This is the sort of example you need. If he has stopped it, it's a great effort. I think he has.
That's not a cuddle, that's a bit of rough and tumble.
Yeah.
And he's managed to put himself in between the ball and the ground. Victor Matfield.
Well, he's played with pride today. 21 tackles today. He's known for being the greatest line-out forward of the last decade or so, but he's put himself about, even without his mate Backie's brought up.
Who apparently is in town.
Well, I must hunt him out.
So if they get together tonight, avoid that particular hostelry. But you're right, Victor Matfield
Touch. Pause.
has played with an awful amount of pride all the way through that career, and that has continued
Come close.
through his final game.
We close the gap. Too far. Too far. Close support.
How he'd love his side to somehow conjure up a Barbarians score from deep here. Tryless on this day against Australia. Of course, that will also be at the forefront of Australian minds. Proud of their defence, and they want to see through the job to the 80th minute. But they're thinking attack again here, and it's Samo, and he's the man who scores. Out of the way, all the way through. And the Australians have yet another. It's going to be Dean's 1, Henry 0 on this particular day.
That is a sorry 60 from a Barbarians perspective. If this kick goes over, which I assume it will, in 36 minutes in this half, they've conceded 42 points. That is terrible, and I'm afraid it's a pretty solid scrum. But look at the defence. Bergamasco goes way too early. Kano with him. Matfield's broken out of the scrum. He can't be expected to make that tackle. Big one hand there from Radiki Samo. Can't believe the Red Sea parts.
So 1-0 Deans, 8-0 the try count. There's the conversion. Just over 3 minutes left for the Barbarians. It's been an agonising second half, it really has. They have a chance now to maybe at least finish with a flourish. 66. Australia into record territory here, of course, against the Barbarians.
In the air, 12, white.
And still they have the ball
12,
with a penalty.
12. That wasn't dangerous, but be careful.
Man of the match considerations?
Yeah, well, James O'Connor, brilliant talent. Creates so much with his offload, and his goal kicking has been very good. He's impressed me. He's a world-class rugby player. Another world star in the Wallabies team. We missed touch. We'll have to break for a second.
We press pause because this might be the Barbarian try that we've been waiting for. Wouldn't want to miss it, will we? Here's Cipriani to Tompkins. And Benny is there. Kenatali. Good pick up in the end. Kano. Kenatali. Rambeni. There's Mortlock. Mortlock nearly through. Good line from Kenatali. Tompkins trying to get with him. He was slightly being impeded there, but he's chasing after this. And it's going to be a forlorn chase because Adam Ashley-Cooper is once again the boss. Back to your man of the match.
Digby Ioane once again has shown he's a world-class finisher, a world-class winger, but my man of the match because he's been absolutely immaculate. He's created a few, done everything right, done nothing wrong. Once again, so good at Twickenham, Adam Ashley-Cooper. Centre, wing, or as today, full-back. Here's my Killick & Co. man of the match. Rock solid at the back.
Rambeni.
Now 20, don't play.
You can feel the crowd desperate for the Barbarians to come up with this try. Still the tackles come in from Australia. They are desperate, equally so, to keep the Barbarians out. Cipriani to Rambeni. Here comes Kahui. Kahui, oh, he's slipped. And the try line was calling him. And it has to be blown up. No sympathy from the referee. There's White and Kahui sort of collide, but lose possession as well as the ball goes forward. It was nearly there for Richard Kahui. Over 51,000 have been here to see it, which is a very healthy crowd, but they have seen the Barbarians walloped.
Put to the sword. Barbarians will have to go and look at themselves again. This wasn't a good enough performance, but Australia go across the 7 to Cardiff. They're in good heart before what will be a titanic test match with Wales. Can their defence hold out? Can Sterling Mortlock and company conjure one final try?
Here we go with Kenatale, and he's gone wide of Mortlock. Tompkins back to Wigan after this. There's a little piece of Samo.
He'd be pleased to get back to Wigan.
Here's Matfield. Yeah, he might be. Here's Kenatale. Cipriani. Kahui. Ruining the slip. Can he do it now? Goes on. Richard Kahui. In goes Rambetti. Kenatale as well. Cipriani doesn't want to risk the cutout. Initially fearing the interception. Matfield's dropped it. Didn't want that to be his final act in rugby, and it's not going to be. Here comes Matfield. That would be a great story. I think everybody wants that to happen. Shouldn't show bias in this job, but wouldn't mind it myself. And listen to the crowd now. Really willing the Barbarians over that line.
Push back, 18.
Kano waits. It's all very slow. Victor Matfield digging deep. One last push on one last ruck.
16, you are in front, back foot.
Bergamasco drives on with Perugini. Kenatale, it's got to come out to the backs. Cipriani, good pick up. Kahui, here's Tompkins, the winger!